Los Angeles, and WNBA playoffs just around the corner. Western Conference standings, LA already wrapping up a spot in the playoffs and home court advantage because Seattle has lost today, and Sacramento trying to make those playoffs. Top 4 teams make it. Terry Gannon along with Hall of Famer Annie Myers and Greg Anthony. Great matchup in the paint today. Yolanda Griffith taking on Lisa Leslie. We're seeing it materialize already, Greg.
Well, yeah, Yolanda Griffith probably the most difficult matchup for Lisa Leslie in the WNBA because she has the size and athleticism to be a force on both ends. Here you see her being able to score right over the top against her, Eddie.
And then Lisa Leslie, probably the best player in the world, I think, because not only is she going at Yolanda Griffith, who knows how to play her, but she'll beat you on both ends of the floor. Offensively, defensively, last 4 games, she's averaging 4 assists.
Lisa Leslie at the line with the miss. Different standings, LA already wrapping up a spot in the playoffs and home court advantage because Seattle has lost today, and Sacramento trying to make those playoffs. Top 4 teams make it. Terry Gannon along with Hall of Famer Annie Myers and Greg Anthony. Great matchup in the paint today. Yolanda Griffith taking on Lisa Leslie. We're seeing it materialize already, Greg.
Well, yeah, Yolanda Griffith probably the most difficult matchup for Lisa Leslie in the WNBA because she has the size and athleticism to be a force on both ends. Here you see her being able to score right over the top against her, Eddie.
And then Lisa Leslie, probably the best player in the world, I think, because not only is she going at Yolanda Griffith, who knows how to play her, but she'll beat you on both ends of the floor. Offensively, defensively, last 4 games, she's averaging 4 assists.
Lisa Leslie at the line with the miss. The Sparks out early. 3 quick buckets on the break, and Sacramento coming back with a couple of their own, and much of it in the paint, as you see already. 2 Olympians going head-to-head. They won a gold medal for the U.S. in Athens recently, and a little full-court pressure from the Sparks off the free throw.
Well, and in this pressure by LA, it's not so matter about stealing the basketball, it's just slowing things down and forcing the opponent to take a quicker shot.
Thompson to Maiga, gives it off to Yolanda Griffith. So 3 buckets already for Griffith.
It's just something about those LA Sparks uniforms that must fire her up because let me tell you, she plays her best basketball against Lisa Leslie.
Christy Thomas on the block, and the foul down low. Tanti Maiga picks up her first. Danny?
I can honestly say, since the league started in 1997, that those LA uniforms fire everybody up. And a lot of it has to do with Lisa Leslie. And even though Houston won the first 4 championships and Detroit won it last year, there's something about beat LA throughout, whether it be the NBA or the WNBA. Opponents love saying that.
Well, and you said it, and not to take anything away, but Lisa Leslie is really the Shaquille O'Neal of this league. She's that dominant on both ends of the floor, and that in and of itself motivates you. But again, Yolanda Griffith is a great basketball player.
Yeah.
She gets it done night in and night out. Her effort is consistent as you would ever want for any top player. But the other thing with this press that you're seeing that it does typically is it takes you away from your interior strength, which is what Sacramento has. You won't see them get as many post-up opportunities. They'll probably start relying more on jump shots. At least that's what I would assume that the Sparks would want.
And LA dropping into a zone because they know that interior offense is so strong with Sacramento, forcing the outside shot.
Thomas matched up on Griffith now. Cross court. Tisha Pinachero. Shot clock down under 3. Maiga just getting it off. Here come the Sparks.
So that's a perfect example of that. They didn't create a steal, but they created a shot that they wanted their opponent to take.
Well, Leslie couldn't get the handle on that, misses, but now draws the foul. So Lisa Leslie will go to the free throw line this time of the year. Of course, injuries playing a major role, and that's true for both clubs. We send it over to the 4th member of our crew, Heather Cox, for a report right now.
Well, Terry, the Sparks are definitely trying to get into playoff form, and in doing so, they've reactivated Wadi Mabika. She sat out the last 3 games after re-aggravating a left knee injury. She practiced yesterday after very aggressive therapy all week long and said she felt good enough to go. The key is she's 2nd on the team behind Lisa Leslie in scoring, and this is a team that wants to get her back in the fold and get the team into system before, hopefully, a big playoff push, guys.
Yeah, they need her production come playoff time. Only lost once all year here at home and in Staples Center, and it was Sacramento. Beat them. That last foul, by the way, on Edna Campbell. Offensively, the Monarchs, perhaps, Andy, need to get somebody else in the fold. Yolanda Griffith 3 for 3, but the rest of the team 0 for 7.
Well, Smith is another player that can score. She averages 11 points, the highest she has in this league.
On cue, Changela Smith, the 7th-year player out of Iowa.
And she's one of the other reasons why they've given this team so much trouble over this course of the season, because of her size and athleticism and ability to score, block shots. you know, that kind of size and athleticism is not common throughout the league, and Sacramento definitely possesses it.
Tisha Pinachero looks to dish. The offensive foul, a little bit out of control. It's Christy Thomas who drew the charge on Pinachero, who led the league in assists for 6 straight years. Not doing it this year, though. It's Nikki Teasley.
I talked to Tisha Pinachero before the game and asked her about her game. In August, she said, we worked on some of our weaknesses. I worked on my shooting, and she has come back strong since the Olympic break in scoring, but she is the type of player that likes to penetrate.
Yeah, and that penetration is important, but she's going up against Nikki Teasley right now, the person I think is the best point guard in this league, and really one of the reasons why the Sparks have elevated their play overall. And Tisha's going to have to score more for Sacramento to have a chance to win. They need her offense. They struggle at times with it.
5th turnover already. Mabika hit from beyond the arc.
What knee injury?
Well, she's rested, but you talked about that triple-double that Lisa Leslie had the other night against Detroit. Teasley had her career-high 25 points. She hit 6 3-pointers, and that really opened things up for L.A.
Maya Walker forcing the issue inside, and Mabika picks up her first foul. Don't forget, tomorrow night, the regular season premiere of Monday Night Football. The Packers at Carolina to take on the Panthers. Comes your way at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, right here on ABC Sports Championship Television. Monday Night Football kicking off last Thursday. What a game that was. The Colts, the Patriots. Great way to get the season underway.
I tell you, who would have ever thought that Vanderjagt would miss that field goal? That had to be a heartbreak for him.
There's Ruthie Bolton, the veteran. Her 8th year out of Auburn, coming into the lineup for Sacramento. 7 and 8 on the road this year. They lost 2 of their last 3 coming down the stretch here, and Andy, a tough job for them coming down the stretch because they're on the road. 6 out of 7 games they're playing on the road trying to make the playoffs.
Well, it is. After the Olympic break, they won their first 3 games and then lost to Washington and Charlotte, and they were up in those games. And Coach Wisnett said those were killers because not only were they up, they just couldn't get the ball to fall in the basket on wide open shots.
And that's tough. I mean, you have to find a way to win those games. And you look at this team, to me, talent-wise, they have it. Obviously, they struggle at times to score the basketball, but I think their biggest problem is that their backcourt doesn't get to the free throw line enough. I think that in and of itself has really been their Achilles heel. They just don't get enough attempts, and that tells you that they're not as aggressive to attack the basket. And when you feature a front line that, like with Tangela Smith and Yolanda Griffith, you have to be aggressive because with the way they rebound the basketball, you would assume that they would give more opportunities for your guards, yet they rely too much, I think, on perimeter shooting.
Teasley buys it from the free throw line. First foul on Ruthie Bolton just off the bench. Teasley in her 3rd year from North Carolina. All-time leader in assists and 3-point shots in Carolina history. Out of bounds. They're going to keep it here at this end. As the race for the playoff position heats up, it's time to make your pick for the 2004 award winners. WNBA.com wants to know who you think is this year's top rookie. Elena Beard, perhaps? Diana Taurasi. I'm going to go with her. Not to influence you. So log on to WNBA.com. Cast your vote right now.
It's going to be close, but I may go with Diana.
8-3 run for the Sparks the last 2.5 minutes. They throw that one away, though. Here comes Carol Lawson.
Well, for a team that only won 8 games last year and how they've turned it around to be in the playoff race and everybody else picked up their game, yeah, I'd say Diana.
Griffith stepping out this time with the miss battle. L.A. comes up with it. Danica Hodges. Well, not only the rookie of the year, but look at the WNBA race. And the first person you think about is Lisa Leslie, no doubt. But you got to mention players like Taurasi, just what they've meant to their team turning it around.
Oh, definitely. Wow. She's the first player. Lisa Leslie's the first player and the second player I think about for the MVP. But definitely you got to give Diana Taurasi a lot of credit to come in with all the pressure and expectation and perform the way she has. She's one of my favorite players to watch because she just has such a great feel for the game of basketball.
And you got to look at Lauren Jackson, last year's MVP, who's had a terrific year. And maybe coming off the Olympic break hasn't been as solid, but I think you got to look at her too.
Shot clock under 5. Can they get it off? No, they throw it away again. Mabika cross court to Hodges and back. Contact, no foul, and here comes the Monarchs.
And Danica Hodges into the game for the Sparks. Through the 3 games that Mabika was out, she was averaging Hodges 35 minutes, so she had an opportunity to get some playing time.
Christy Thomas just took Yolanda Griffith and threw her across the lane. Yolanda's picking up the foul. Take a closer look at the MVP race when we come back to Staples Center.
The WNBA on ABC, brought to you by Bud Light. Fresh, smooth, real. It's all here. Tampax, the one, the only Tampax. Cadillac, bold vehicles defying convention. And American Express, the official card of the WNBA.
Good look at how the fans arrive here at Staples Center for the WNBA. Actually, now it's the LA Triathlon taking. Well, I think Annie Myers came in third in the swimming before having come to work. LA with the lead, 17-9. Talking about the MVP candidates, though, and here are the numbers for those who you would put up as those having a chance to win the honors.
Well, Swin Cash, who had a super June and July, and hopefully she's okay. She injured her knee last night. We haven't heard the results yet, but Lisa Leslie has continued to stay strong. Lauren Jackson leading the league in scoring, and, you know, Catch does everything. Tamika Catchings from Indiana, and then Taurasi has just turned Phoenix around.
Well, she has, but I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, you look at this Sparks team, and the way that Lisa Leslie dominates both ends really separates her from anybody else playing, and that's why I would give her my vote. I mean, they're 22-8. They're going to have home court throughout. They've only lost one time here at home, and she is a focal point of that basketball team.
The thing that's so impressive about her, too, just now, I mean, she gets a hand on the ball. You said both ends of the floor. She has elevated her game, and it's her mental aspect of the game, how much better she wants to become.
Sparks just 2 of their last 10 after starting the game 3 for 3 from the floor, though. Here come the Monarchs on the run.
Well, the fact that Teasley's looking to be offensive-minded is huge. I talked to her before the game and said, what happened in the Detroit game? She said, I just got aggressive. I took my shots. I need to do that in this game, and Lisa Leslie has helped me do that.
Chantel Anderson off the bench and drawing the foul. The second-year player from Vandy draws the foul on Lisa Leslie. Third team foul, first on Leslie.
And although LA is not shooting as well, the shots they're getting are the shots they want. And if you're coaching, that's exactly what you're going to have in terms of wanting from your basketball team. You're not knocking them down, but they're playing the game the right way. They're getting good rhythm shots, and you would expect they'll make those if they get them consistently.
Anderson against Leslie. Not this time. Lisa rejects, and here come the Sparks. Well, look at the spin move. How about the body control from Lisa Leslie?
Can you say MVP now?
Yeah, that's as good as it gets, because she really got put in a bad position there by her guard.
But she started
to make the play,
and she started it all off on the defensive end with the big block shot.
Yeah, the first impressive thing was the catch and to stay under control, because you're right.
Pirouette, I expect, you know. I expect that from her.
Leslie's got 9 already in the game. Shot clock down to 5. Would be Bolton. She can shoot that. Not this time, no. Pinachero battling. Going to keep it right here, I believe. Yeah. Great play by Tisha Pinachero.
Leslie coming off that triple-double where she had 10 block shots, has tied a league record with Margot Diedick. And then look at her run the floor. One of the best players, not just as a center, one of the best players running the floor, and then the footwork. And then the little, as you said, pirouette.
Yeah, a little pirouette. I mean, fundamentally, she is such a sound basketball player, which typically when you combine great athleticism and a feel for the game with tremendous fundamentals, you, in essence, get domination. And that's what Lisa Leslie is doing to this WNBA league right now. She's just dominating.
Maya Walker took 1 extra. 8th turnover already for Sacramento. You can't stay in the game on the road against LA doing that.
And give credit to LA's defense, Eddie.
That's right. The stat won't show up, but Lisa Leslie defensively was able to make her travel.
Just 2 turnovers so far for the Sparks. 13-1 at home here at Staples this season. Mika Whitmore in the game. Turnover for the Sparks. And leading the break is Griffith, the Olympian, drawing the foul on Whitmore. They're coast to coast, and she'll go to the free throw line. Back in 2 weeks, by the way, first-round action from the WNBA playoffs. Lisa Leslie and company got a firm grip on the league's best record. All roads look like they're leading through LA for the Western Conference Finals. Find out if anyone might be able to stop the Sparks. Sunday, September 26th. Eastern or Pacific.
Now, the first win that Sacramento had against LA this year, they forced LA into 28 turnovers. In the win here at Staples, Lisa Leslie had 20 points and 8 rebounds in the first half. She had 2 points in the second half and only 4 rebounds. So defensively, Sacramento was able to pick it up. And LA had shot 51% in that game. So Sacramento, don't count them out. I mean, this game, you know, right now, even with the lead right now, Sacramento is a team that can come back on you.
Well, Annie, they haven't had a field goal in the last 5 minutes, and yet it's an 8-point game.
That's right.
Leslie in the paint. Hop, skip, and a bucket.
And I'll say this again. This Lisa Leslie is not the one we saw earlier in the season. She's playing with a little more pep in her steps. I just seem to have more adrenaline and a better feel for the game. I think the mental aspect of this game is really starting to catch up with her physical abilities, and that's why you see her really starting to dominate more and more as the season progresses.
Rebecca Brunson off the bench, rookie from Georgetown, missed it, and here the turnover at the other end. Lawson against Leslie. Oh, nice dish to Griffith.
That was a great pass by Carol Lawson, who could shoot the basketball, showing some point guard skills there.
Well, that was from Anaheim. Easily from way out.
And she hit those shots the other night against Detroit, and Carlene Thompson said, come on over here, you got to.
But that was a bad shot. That one wasn't good.
Carlene Thompson saying, get a little bit closer, please. 7:58 left until halftime. 8-point lead for the home team. The LA Sparks with a 21-13 lead over Sacramento. We spoke to Lisa Leslie, the star of the Sparks, about her fitness routine for the Subway Health and Fitness tip of the game. Eat healthy, exercise regularly, and set health goals. Greg Anthony's 0 for 3.
Well, I eat popcorn.
And the coffee stuff.
And I did set goals.
The popcorn coffee diet going into the game is not
It has been quite effective for me, Mr. Gannon, I'll have you know.
Worked so far.
That's right.
Right?
I don't know how the second half of my life's going to go, but so far, so good.
By the way, every Sparks player or starter has got a steal in this game. That's the kind of defense that they've been playing the last couple of weeks. Talk about the month of the Olympics. For those who played in the Olympics, you would expect them to come back and be a little bit tired after their experience. But as you said, the energy of Lisa Leslie, for example, higher than it was prior to that.
Well, I think Yolanda Griffith, too. I've seen it with the majority of the Olympians that they've come back. They are totally focused. And sometimes you think, well, did they reach that peak of winning the gold medal, and then will it drop? But they are all playing well.
Good dish from Dixon to Whitmore. Nice little jump shot. And the Sparks with a 10-point lead.
In Sacramento, Yolanda Griffith is 4 of 5 from the floor. The rest of the team, 1 of 12.
You know, and again, part of the problem, one reason the defense has been so effective for the Sparks, quite simply, is because Sacramento doesn't have a lot of players looking to score. You talk about this matchup, although Lisa Leslie's had the better statistically since the break, Yolanda Griffith has had a solid season overall. She's been consistent. This is basically what she's done all year, and she's had no let up today. You know she's motivated to go up against her Olympic teammate.
Teresa Weatherspoon in off the bench for the Sparks now. Whitmore controls it against Brunson. And Griffith, as you mentioned, has played well in the head-to-head matchups against Lisa Leslie. Missed by Teasley, and here's Yolanda.
You know, that other point you guys talked about how effective they've been. Remember, athletes today are far better in terms of their work ethic and the amount of time they put into making sure that their bodies can go. I mean, Yolanda Griffith is 34 years old, and you would not know it by looking at her in terms of the way she plays.
Teresa Weatherspoon picking up her first personal.
And I think Heather was going to make a comment about the great shape that these young ladies are in.
Heather?
I talked to Lisa Leslie before the game and asked her about averaging 25.5 points since the Olympic break, and she said that's been my focus since day one. Since November, I knew what my schedule was going to be all about, and I was scheduling to peak right now for these playoffs. She also added, hey, we won 60 in a row with the national team. If I can't play on the WNBA and in the Olympics, I shouldn't be playing at all. That's what I'm supposed to do. I'm just doing my job.
Well, it's certainly an experience that would lend itself to being a confident player, having done what they just did over in Athens.
But she has always been that type of player. She wants to get better. She wants to be recognized as the best to have ever played this game. And you talked about Yolanda Griffith, Greg, as far as, you know, her condition. The women don't take as much a beating as the men do. Obviously, the men's season is a little bit longer. It's a little bit more physical, even though the women will go overseas and play. And Yolanda Griffith is one of those players that can continue to play. Look at Teresa Edwards at 40 playing.
And the Campbell to the left hand. Griffith couldn't control. Mabika clears it for the Sparks.
You know, and what's impressive, though, is you don't see any drop-off in the effectiveness of their play in terms of from an athletic standpoint. That's really what I look at. It's as you get older and you play this game, the mental starts to really propel you to another level because you know how to play. But with her, not only does she know how to play, but from an athletic standpoint, much like Lisa Leslie, they are still dominant athletically. And that's what's really impressive. I mean, there is just no let off, and I think a lot of it has to do with more of an emphasis on conditioning.
Well, and I think that the young players coming out of high school and college in the women's game, they better recognize what the older players have done, and they've got to try and achieve that level.
Frustration foul for Lisa Leslie just a moment ago after the miss, picking up her second, 7th team foul on LA.
And that's one of the things, Terry, I'm sorry, that Lisa Leslie does have a problem with. She gets herself in foul trouble because she plays so hard all the time.
Off balance shot, the miss from Penichero, and the Sparks going to walk it up this time. Certainly have controlled the tempo and the overall play here in the first half with a 10-point lead. We approach the 5-minute mark before the halftime break. Turnover, though, and Griffith picking it up.
And LA really not in the offensive right now, moving the ball around. They're not getting it from side to side.
I'll tell you right now, Sacramento just cannot buy a basket. They're getting opportunities, and again, this is what Coach Wisner talked about, the fact that they just struggle so much offensively. They don't shoot it great from the perimeter, and they don't have a lot of players that can create their own shots.
Angela Smith buying it, though, from the floor. Her second bucket, she's got 4, and it's an 8-point game.
Neither team shooting near 40% right now.
Bika looking for Leslie. Now the fadeaway, around and out. Penichero going to lead it. Campbell? No, and again, no one on the offensive. This is a team that's a good offensive rebounding team, but no second chance for the Monarchs.
That opportunity there, though, was a quick shot.
Yeah,
they really didn't get the front line a chance to get down and get in rebounding position. And sometimes you do got to take those shots. However, you need to figure out a way to knock a few down, and they haven't thus far in this game.
Penichero, the veteran from Old Dominion, getting the loose ball and calling the timeout for the Monarchs. So, got a break in the action here at Staples Center. 4:05 left until halftime. The Sparks with the 8-point lead already wrapped up home court advantage in the playoffs. 23-15 your score right now. LA up at home. The Monarchs keep it on the road. Next game coming your way on ESPN2 Thursday at Houston. Then next Sunday, a couple of games, the Fever and the Sun on Oxygen, and Sting and the Shock, the defending champs, may not make the playoffs on ESPN2. And take a look at the East standings. Annie, how tightly bunched do you want it right now, huh?
Last game, that's what it's coming down to, is the last game. And I tell you, Connecticut with that win over Seattle was a huge jump for them. And Washington, how about Washington? Shmiko Holzclaw leaving the team. I think the distraction is gone and they're pulling it together.
And that has been a big story, obviously, in the WNBA, but people are still shaking their heads over Holzclaw and what's happened there, Greg.
Right, it's really mind-boggling because no one's really come out and said what the issue is. You're talking about one of the preeminent players in this league, for whatever reason, deciding not to participate and not be there for a team. And, you know, because we don't know, it's hard to speculate, but I would definitely like to hear a little bit more from that organization and from Shaniqua herself. What is going on? She should be playing if at all possible.
Easy deuce for Lisa Leslie. She has 13 and the lead is 10. They have said what it isn't. It's not life-threatening. It's not pregnancy. It's not drug addiction. But what is it?
And she won't give it up. And nobody within the organization is saying either. And there's been a lot of research on it, but maybe it'll all come out afterwards.
Is she being fined? Are there any, ramifications that are going to come about because of this? I mean, no one knows. And like you say, you're talking about a team in the midst of a playoff battle right now, a game out of first place, literally. And your best player not being there. I mean, a lot of woulda, coulda, shouldas if they end up falling short for the playoffs.
Bika picking up her first foul, the 8th team foul. So Sacramento to the free throw line. Now Walker finds the first one.
Well, Sacramento, not a good free throw shooting team, but the advantage they have is they're getting to the line more than LA. LA's putting themselves in a hole in this first half with foul situations.
Monarchs 5 of 6 from the free throw line.
I think a little bit of this game right now, the Sparks might be a little too confident because they came out with a quick start early and the game seemed kind of easy for them. But remember, Sacramento's fighting for their playoff lives. They're not going to quit. LA's going to have to win this game because I don't think Sacramento's going to lose it.
Bika the pump fake. Oh, that was pretty.
That was pretty.
And she's so good. I was talking with Penny Dolan before the game, and she says this young lady has a chance to be great. She says she's on the same level as Cheryl Swoops. because of her her ability to score the basketball. She has no fear out on the basketball floor.
Angela Smith in and out. Can't get it. Fighting to get it back. And I'm going to say that it was knocked out by the Sparks.
Mwani Mabika came into this league, her first team, the LA Sparks, at the age of 18. She just turned 28 in July. And one of the things, yes, she has the ability to become that great player. She did it in 2001 when she did not go overseas and play. She stayed healthy, and she averaged 18 points during that season. But she's got some knee problems, and taking it to the next level, it's up to her.
A great help defensively for the Sparks. Taking away the shot from Campbell and the passing lanes, and the 3-second violation inside the 11th turnover already for the Monarchs. Herbal Essence's halftime report behind the scenes in Athens. A lot going on, did go on there. The WNBA scores, a lot of action today. The stats and the highlights from around the league as we approach the playoffs in this 8th year of WNBA play.
You know, we talked a lot about Sacramento, or the defense, I should say, of LA. Part of the problem for Sacramento is because no one's looking to score. It allows your defense to become even more aggressive because they don't fear a lot of the players out on the floor right now for the Monarchs that have the ability to beat them.
Smith over to Penichero. What they wanted her to do, look to score more this year, but here with the shot clock running down, throws it away. Dixon, Campbell chases her down. Tamika Dixon on the run out.
And there's a perfect example, Annie, of offensively just not, they didn't even look at the rim there, and it puts so much pressure on your defense when you can't score the basketball.
And LA is switching up their defense against Sacramento. They're making it tough for Yolanda Griffith to get any kind of shot or get the ball inside.
Campbell with the miss gets it back. Largest lead, by the way, of the game for the Sparks. Campbell again from long range. If you don't hit it the first time you're a shooter, you keep shooting.
I tell you, that is a huge bucket, especially with the way the momentum was starting to shift again back in the LA Sparks favor.
So the lead back to 10. Leslie, look at the dish. Thomas down low, swatted away. Great block from Angela Smith, but the Sparks with another chance. Knocked out, 8 on the shot clock.
You know, and although Lisa Leslie, they didn't get the bucket, that last play has shown you the growth of her game. She made a great penetration and didn't force the shot, made the nice pass. Unfortunately, they weren't able to convert because of great defensive play, but that growth and maturation in her game is really what separated her from everybody else, I believe.
Quick hands for Edna Campbell, knocked out of bounds. And the impressive thing about Lisa Leslie, she looks like she's on the brink of being out of control, but it doesn't seem to lose it.
Yeah, I mean, you're not used to seeing somebody 6'7" with that type of athletic mobility and movement and being able to beat people off the dribble. So sometimes it can look a tad bit awkward.
Griffith. Sparks keep it.
Well, and there's an opportunity for the LA Sparks. Sometimes, because we talked about Shamika Holzclaw, and you have that dominant player, and sometimes you get caught up in what they can do. Lisa Leslie, the same thing. The month of August for the LA Sparks, with her gone, helped create opportunities for other players to have confidence in their game to shoot the ball. Mwani Mabika passed that up to give it to Lisa Leslie off that turnover, even though they got it back.
Yeah, they had the long break in the WNBA, but the players who did not go to the Olympics were working out for much of that time here practicing. Sacramento, for example, gave their players 10 days off. Then they came back, and their coaches will tell you that it was an important time. There's Dixon, the stop and pop, Tamika Dixon.
You know, Terry, and Annie, something else that has helped this team, believe it or not, has been the injuries. Because it's allowed for a lot of other players to get opportunities to be effective in key moments during the stretch of the season, and that gives you confidence, especially as you start building momentum towards the playoffs.
Last possession of the first half, perhaps. Almost a steal, but Dixon got a piece of the arm, and so the Monarchs with an opportunity at the free throw line with 5.7 left until the break.
And Tamika Dixon is one of those players that she had a game-high 20 points against Phoenix and then had to sit out after the Seattle game because she got into a scuffle with Betty Lennox. But she has really elevated her game since that Olympic break.
Weapons, and more weapons when you look at this LA Sparks team. I mean, I really can't see anybody beating them other than themselves if they continue to play with this unselfishness.
Guys, by the way, starting Monday, the benefactor will hand over $1 million Just looking for the player who has what it takes to step up and take it. We'll pass this test for success. The Benefactor premieres Monday only on ABC.
Come on, Greg, when are you going to start your own show?
You know, I was wondering if Terry's going to give me an opportunity. I was going to ask him to loan me $1 million.
Not eligible, my man. Work for Disney. Leslie takes a seat to a good hand from the crowd here in Staples Center. And Achero getting it from the free throw line, both of them. So here come the Sparks. Mabika just going to stop and let it go before the horn. Didn't try to rush up at all. Just wanted to have court shots. So Lisa Leslie in the first half dominant as always. And the Sparks out to the early lead. And they've got the double-digit lead here at the half. LA 32, Sacramento 22. Right back with our Herbal Essences halftime report after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Home at halftime over Sacramento, who is fighting for a playoff spot. Top 4 in the East and the West make it to the WNBA playoffs. Terry Gannon back with Annie Myers and Greg Anthony. You shoot 27% in the first half on the road. Turn it over as many times as Sacramento did. You don't have a chance to stay in this, but it's a 10-point game right now, Annie.
Well, somebody else has to step up because Yolanda Griffith cannot carry this team on her shoulders by herself. They've got to hit some open shots.
Well, you know, they have a lot of reluctant shooters right now. You talked about, Terry, that 27% field goal. More importantly, 12 turnovers. I think that's because they oftentimes no one's looking to shoot the basketball. You need to be aggressive and have no fear out on that floor. And right now, there's a lot of fear in the eyes of the Sacramento Monarchs.
Well, we have a moment, our colorful moments of the half, brought to you by Crest. Going to take you back, though, to the triple-double for Lisa Leslie at 29 points, 15 rebounds, and 10 block shots Thursday against the defending champs, Detroit. Just an incredible performance. Just a third triple-double in the history of the WNBA. And today, continuing that, 5 of 7 from the floor, 13 points in the first half for Leslie.
The other two to back that up, Cheryl Swoops and Margot Diedick had the other two triple-doubles, but she was incredible in watching her performance. And the fact that, you know, it wasn't just, okay, she scored points or got block shots and rebounds. It was crucial. I mean, big-time plays for a big-time game. Yeah,
it was a huge game. And again, she continues, I think, to solidify that MVP candidacy because of that. Not just what she does in terms of statistically, but also the fact that she provides the leadership. And it gives a certain amount of comfort to the rest of those players when you know you have a dominant force out there that is out to win for you. And that's what she's been doing for this basketball team.
Heather Cox able to speak with the coaches as they came out from the halftime break. Heather?
Terry, starting with the Sparks, Coach Thompson was frustrated with the amount of reaching fouls that her team had. She said, we're boxing out well, we're keeping Sacramento off the offensive boards, but we've got to pick the ball up quicker, get out to the shooters. And then she added, we're okay with the way we're defending Yolanda Griffith. They're one and done. That's the way we like it. Now, for Coach Wisnett in Sacramento, he said, our offense is horrible, and then said, quote, we laid an egg. He said, there's no movement. We've been tentative. We've been hesitant, more so than I've seen since the beginning of the season. Against Lisa Leslie, we cannot allow her to catch the ball wherever she wants. We will stay one-on-one, but we've got to get some double-team help here, guys.
Yeah, Heather, defensively, always had that problem with Lisa Leslie, but the Monarchs really struggled in the half-court set in the first half. But they start the second half with a steal.
You see the defensive pressure really picking up from Sacramento. They picked up Nikki Teasley full court there and caused them some problems. And
there's that matchup, Greg, and the block by Lisa Leslie on Griffith.
Well, it's just her timing. She just waits so well.
Second block of the game for Leslie. Mabika behind the screen of Leslie. Good box out for the Monarchs, but then they lost it out of bounds. Maya Walker stepped on the end line. And she had 10 blocks the other night, as we said, against Detroit, and watch this one here in the last possession for Leslie.
Well, in the last few games, she's averaging 4 blocks a game, and you just see her timing and creative space with Yolanda Griffith.
We talked about her ability, again, dominating both ends. It's not just about her going out offensively. Again, that sets a tone for your team. When your best player does it on both ends, you have to come out and defend. And you've seen that sense of urgency defensively from LA in this game.
And I know you have compared her to Shaq as far as dominating. I'd like to compare her more to Bill Russell in the sense of defensively as far as what she creates for her team.
And Campbell's first foul on the last possession, so Sparks going to keep it right here. Mabika off that screen with Walker on her. Tried to get it to Leslie, but threw it out of bounds.
You know, most people in LA don't like
I'm
to be
older than
compared
you.
to
I'm older
Celtics
than
stuff.
you. I look at the players. I never looked at
Ninth turnover of the game.
I think they got the same uniform, color, you know, same city, at least up until this point.
Walker. Oh, nice move. In the lane, she got it to go. Demaya Walker, the 50th player out of Virginia with 5 points.
And if Sacramento can continue to get inside the lane on LA, and Demaya Walker is so good at getting underneath the defense.
Mika Dixon inside to Thomas. Nice catch, and then a little dish inside to Leslie.
That possession right there, hope we get a chance to show that entire possession. Great ball movement, and they punctuated with an interior pass for Lisa Leslie. That's why this team, I think, is really starting to go to another level. The unselfishness, the ball movement, makes it tough to beat when you have as many weapons as they do.
Angela Smith misfires. Griffith almost fell down as he shot that one and kept it alive, and a foul going to go against LA.
I know Yolanda Griffith just threw it up, but did you see the rebound she got?
It was amazing. This possession right here, the interior pass there for Lisa Leslie. And, you know, that it fires you up when you play the game the right way. You hear a lot of coaches talk about it, and right there was a perfect example of it from the Sparks.
Campbell missed beyond the arc, the scramble, and it will go back to the Sparks.
And on that play, Sacramento's got to be smarter. You don't triple team Christy Thomas and leave Lisa Leslie open on a one-on-one. But to get back to Yolanda Griffith and her rebounding, that rebound, 2 players blocked her out, and she still got it.
Yeah, effort. I mean, that's what makes her great. I mean, she can score the basketball, obviously, but her effort separates her from so many other players in the WNBA.
She did all those little things for the Olympic squad in Athens. Integral part of that squad, as was Leslie, of course, but well shy on her perimeter shot, but the Sparks keep it. Mika Dixon with the board. And Leslie, nope, not over and back. It was tipped. I think Campbell arguing that one, but it was tipped. With a half-court set for the Sparks, 13 and counting on the shot clock with a 2-man game. And finishing is Leslie from Nikki Teasley.
I tell you what, that's the play of the game so far right there. Nikki Teasley with a little icing on that cupcake. That was just a beautiful split of the pick and roll, and then the no-look pass over the shoulder, and then the finish punctuated with the free throw. That is as good a basketball play. And again, that unselfishness, you know, she cut so hard off the pick and roll because she figured she'd get the basketball. And, you know, that happens because you play the game together.
Well, Greg, you said that you feel that she's the best guard in the WNBA, and there are no guards. I have not seen any guard do what she did behind the back off that high pick and roll.
No, especially with her size. Remember, she can play 3 positions out there because she can score the basketball. She shoots it well from the perimeter. She can guard the 1 and the 2, and she still, I think, has yet to really realize her true potential in terms of how dominant she could be in this league.
Yolanda Griffith over Lisa Leslie, and Leslie with the foul. And for her, that is her 3rd foul.
But off that play, if you're watching the men's game in the NBA, guys know how to split that high pick and roll, whether they pull it back or they come right in between that screen. Women, you don't see it in the WNBA. That's the first time I've seen that.
Yeah, and again, and you will see a lot more that as she becomes more and more confident, Terry, with her game and figures out what she can do out on the floor.
Ruthie Bolton back in the game as Campbell goes to take a seat on the bench. It's what Michael Jordan did as well as anyone ever did. That double team off that high screen, and boom, you just go right through it. However, he didn't do it often behind his back.
No.
That was a nifty move.
He didn't do it against the Knicks either.
I can remember a double nickel.
He did everything else against us.
Beasley over to Dixon. Mabika an opening, but it closed quickly. And there's the quick hands. Good steal from Smith, but Sparks get it back. Thomas, yes.
And that shot goes because of the great pass that she got from Mika Dixon there. He set her up off the penetration, and she's able to step up and knock that shot down.
6 points in the game for Christy Thomas, the rookie out of Georgia.
And really, Thomas has been able to flourish under Lisa Leslie in this offense that the LA Sparks has.
2 months traffic down low, and the jump ball. Christy Thomas Got it on the noggin.
Yeah, she fell back kind of hard. But I tell you what, she has really had a solid basketball game and has really, I think, taken some pressure off of Lisa Leslie with her interior defense.
Don't forget, in 2 weeks, back with the first round of the WNBA playoffs, the Sparks clinching the league's best record. So they got to go through Staples Center in terms of the Western Conference Finals. Sunday, September 26th. We're on at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific, right here on ABC. Theoretically, at least in the first round, these two clubs could match up, but of course, Monarchs got to post a little run here late in the season to make the playoffs. 1 game behind Phoenix right now.
And Seattle got beat today, and Minnesota's going to have a tough run.
Yeah, they're all on the road to finish up the season. Turnover going back to the Sparks. 14th turnover of the game. Nikki Teasley doing a little bit of everything off that screen and roll behind the back. Going to dish it with one hand off the dribble. And who better to finish than Lisa Leslie? 13-point lead. Biggest job in the world, weatherman in Los Angeles. Another beautiful day here at SoCal. Sparks up by 13 over Sacramento. Who do you think our Cascade Dishing assist winner is? How about Nikki Teasley? Not only today, but I think for the year. That's got to be the top one all year.
Well, it's apropos. I mean, she's leading the league in assists,
right.
so you would expect her to come up with the flash in the pan as she did there with the pick and roll with Lisa Leslie.
And it also helps, too, when you have players who can finish shots.
Almost 6 assists per game on the year for Teasley. Going to get another one right here if Leslie can finish, and no doubt about that.
Again, great offensive execution there by the Sparks. If they continue to execute the way they are offensively with the way they're starting to defend the basketball, I tell you what, it's going to be a long season playoff time for the rest of the WNBA.
Largest lead of the game for the Sparks. Griffith has been the one player on offense to get things done today. No one else. Gordon throws it away. Dixon will stop, start again, miss Penichero.
She's missed a couple of those, but I think she has had a quiet, solid game for them.
You know, rebounding the basketball well. She's got the assist. Again, that unselfishness becomes contagious. When your best player plays that way, everyone else starts to kind of follow along. And, you know, you got to like, they're clicking on all cylinders right now. They have Sacramento just totally befuddled offensively. They're not looking to shoot the basketball. There's not a lot of confidence in their team right now, and they're not playing the game the right way. I mean, Yolanda Griffith's only taken 8 shots in this game. In a game you're struggling, you would have think they'd want to get her more opportunities.
Well, give deep credit to the defense by L.A. because they're not allowing her to get the ball where she wants it. But you're exactly right. Sacramento really looks disoriented.
Teasley just playing with Ruby Bolton right now. She's got 5. That was easy.
The confidence is flowing right now for the LA Sparks at both ends.
Brunson with the miss. Leslie starting the break. Mabika, middle of the floor. Off to Teasley. Going to give it up again to Tamika Dixon. Looking like the old Celtics.
It sounded like a broken record in terms of the way they're moving the basketball. It just puts so much pressure on you. The game is so much easier when you play together the way they are.
And Greg, when the LA Sparks have struggled this season, as you said, the only team that can really beat them is themselves. And when they start playing one-on-one and not swinging the ball around and scoring baskets off assists, that's when they struggle.
Griffith trying to break a 10-1 LA run, and she does. Along the baseline, Yolanda Griffith. She's got 13 in the game. The discussion of the offensive prowess for Sacramento kind of starts and ends with Griffith today. There's that matchup out high. Thomas trying to foul on my guy. Don't forget the WNBA season, regular season winding down. Monarchs on the road taking on the Comets. 8 Eastern on ESPN2 Thursday, then on Oxygen. Sunday, it's the Fever and the Sun. ESPN2 at 2 p.m. Eastern, the Sting and the Shock. For the latest on every WNBA team, search WNBA on ESPN.com. The Shock, the reigning champs, but maybe not for long.
Shocking.
It is shocking, isn't it? They are in danger of missing the playoffs. Last place in the East, but still technically still.
You know, they are. And to go back to Sacramento, you know, one problem that they have, they don't have a guard that can go out and break you down and create and get their own shot. And when you're playing at the professional level, you need that. You have to have someone who can take the pressure off, You saw that last possession by Nikki Teasley. She just broke her player down, got an easy jump shot. That's how you win at this level. And that's the one thing that separates LA. They got 3 or 4 guards that can go out there and create shots for themselves. When they're struggling, Sacramento doesn't have one.
Good high-low. Rebecca Brunson, the rookie from Georgetown, on the receiving end. Annie?
Tisha Penicheiro is the type of player that she'll set you up in the half-court game, but she'll set you up better when she's running. But for her to penetrate, she's not looking to shoot. She's looking to dish. And you're right, it doesn't help. Carol Lawson is the same kind of player. She's not going to take it to the hole and have pull-up jumpers. She's looking for threes.
And Lawson not able to get it going today. Credit the defense from Tamika Dixon and others. But she had 6 threes in the last win for the Monarchs over the Sparks. Tipped out of bounds. Sparks basketball.
You know, the difference is, though, if they're not making those shots, they're much more reluctant to take them. And that's when we talk about that fear. You can't be afraid. You got to feel like the next shot you take is going to be one you make as opposed to one you're going to miss. And I think Sacramento feels like they're going to miss the next shot they take.
Easily off the screen from Leslie. In and out. Here's Lawson.
I think also as a team, I mean, if you're not hitting shots offensively, your defense has got to make it happen. You've got to believe in your defense because you'll get the ball back and get some easy baskets off steals, just like the steal like down with LA and Sacramento coming up with the foul. But I think that teams struggle offensively. They've got to rely on their defense.
Yeah, they do, but and their offense is hurting their defense with all the turnovers, though. They don't get an opportunity to get back and take away transition. And I'll tell you one player they probably miss a whole lot is Keeper Hollis-Horn, because she was that slashing type of offensive player that really got a lot of opportunities for them when things did break down. They don't have that this year, and I think that's one reason why they're struggling to just make the playoffs.
Well, she's been gone a couple years. I mean, she was in Detroit last year, and that was the difference with Detroit. She made an impact on that team from the outside.
Iga with the miss. The Sparks controlling. Dixon out to Mabika. The through ball for Milani Mabika in her 8th year.
It's coming from all angles right now for the Sparks. With the way they're shooting the basketball, moving the basketball. It'll be tough to come back and win this one,
It is. And for the Sparks, they've got 3 games left. Tuesday against Houston at home, and then against Minnesota Friday at home, and then they go on the road against Seattle and Sacramento. They finish up on the road. That's going to be tough for them.
Iga, contact, no call, out of bounds. LA basketball, everything going the Sparks' way. The 20-point lead here at home. Eighth-year player from USC, Lisa Leslie, always with the game face on. Leading the way for the Sparks as they have a 20-point lead here at home over Sacramento. Take a look at our Bud Light peak performers, the WNBA scoring and rebounding leaders. Guess who? Lisa Leslie. At the end of the season, the WNBA players who lead the league in scoring and rebounds will share $25,000 compliments of Bud Light, a portion of which will be donated to each of the players' local charity of choice. You may have all of that, Lisa Leslie, but we're working on her on the sidelines. Her ankle, it looked like, during that last break. 11-14 and counting until the end here at Staples. Teasley, who's had a big game, 5 assists, and Dixon's got 6 assists. Thought she got away with a push and a hold, but she didn't. She got caught that time. Going to whistle Nikki Teasley with the foul.
Well, you know, Greg, in the beginning of this game, you talked about LA understanding how to be a champion and how to get there, and other teams coming in playing against them all the time. So LA has played, I think, going into every season, each game at a high level. I mean, they don't win every game per se, but teams will come in and they are going to try and play their best game against the Sparks.
You know, one reason why the Chicago Bulls were so good is because everybody was motivated to play them. So they couldn't take those nights off during the course of the regular season. They had to show the consistency. And you're seeing that with this LA Sparks team, just as you mentioned. They know every night they're going to get their opponent's best.
And that's been from day one. Whereas Detroit, they won it last year, and maybe not easily per se, but Bill Laimbeer said under circumstances, the second one is easy.
Yeah.
Well, that second one may not even come this year per se, because this year everybody is looking for Detroit. They know that they have to play well against Detroit. Detroit snuck in on everybody last year.
And they're a young team. Remember, when you talk about this Sparks team, there's a lot of experience on this team, having won championships. They also have the best player in the league right now because of their ability to dominate both ends. And I think now, more importantly, though, they have that understanding, as you talked about, of how you have to play to win and how you have to bring the effort, the intensity each and every night, and you see it on the defensive end.
Teddy Maiga with the stop and shoot, and now the lead is 18. But overall, when you talk about this league, you're going to see that parity and the changing of the guard maybe every year with all the dispersal draft now, all the great players coming out of college through the draft, the free agency now. So it is going to change every year. And it really is no huge shock that the Shock is struggling.
Terry, every year since the league started in '97, something different has happened with this league, whether it be dispersal draft, whether it be the Olympics, whether it be the ABL players come in, and there you see what Lisa Leslie has done in the last couple of games. But every year the league has changed, and it was so hard this year to figure out who was going to do what because of the dispersal draft, because of the Olympics. And only one team this year with 20 wins right now, the Sparks.
Backdoor cut for Lawson. Good look from DeMaio Walker.
And the thing about the Sparks, though, and I think, again, you give a lot of credit to Penny Toller in terms of putting their team together. They've done a much better job of getting players that complement one another, who buy into what they're trying to do. And remember, some of their players, a young lady like Nikki Teasley, her best basketball is still ahead of her.
Line drive three for Mabika. She's got 12 in the game.
Well, Mawadi Mabika, 3 games rest. You can see the difference in her game right now. I mean, she looks very relaxed out there hitting open shots.
Hodges on the run. LA looking to pile on. She's going to bring it back out. Didn't have the numbers.
Well, and Penny Toller and Johnny Buss, they have put this team together in the sense with Michael Cooper leaving, as we talked about, going to the Denver Nuggets, and Carlene Thompson and Ryan Weisenberg. Were they going to stay as the co-head coaches, or were they going to bring somebody else in? They've had all these injuries. The 2 Italian players are committed to their Italian team. Do they come back for the playoffs? Another change, losing Delisha Milton-Jones, who would have been an Olympian, and that was a huge loss to the Sparks.
Yeah, the knee injury, the ACL, the meniscus tear, and good bucket from DeMaio Walker, who's played well. She's got 7.
And they haven't missed a beat. With all the talent that they don't have here, they still have not missed a beat.
Maybe even gotten better.
Well, those young players, we talked about those injuries benefiting them because you have a lot of people getting the opportunity to play and basically be a factor.
Don't forget, told you earlier, got the benefactor starting Monday on ABC, handing over $1 million. Greg Anthony is not going to get that million. Just
no chance.
Player, though, who has what it takes to step up and take it. The benefactor premiering Monday on ABC.
We saw Delisha Milton-Jones on the bench for the LA Sparks. She turned 30 yesterday, 9/11. It's her birthday. And her husband, Roland, bought her a little chihuahua that she brought into the locker room before the game.
Are they allowed
the thing, well, this thing follows her wherever she goes. She hasn't named it yet.
Campbell short on the 3.
Well, in Sacramento's got a player on the bench, Lady Hardman. It's her birthday today, Lady Grooms. And she's on the bench, and John Wisnick said, you know, she's the type of player who can come in, play defense for us, put some points on the board for a few minutes, and that's hurt them, not having her in the rotation.
Has it gotten to that point when we're talking birthdays? 52-35, LA at home. 7:41 left for John Wisden and his club to try to make a run. Here at Staples Center, 17-point lead for the Sparks against the Sacramento Monarchs. Easy day today so far for them, but they've had their adversity. Back on the 9th of July, Delisha Milton-Jones at the end of the break with the injured knee, and she would be lost for the season. And of course, the following night, right after that, it was Michael Cooper who coached his last game for the Sparks. He accepted an assistant coaching position with the Denver Nuggets, and an interesting story in terms of the 2 who have replaced him. Heather Cox has more on them.
And Terry, in coaching terms, these 2 are pops, and they're perfect examples of working your way up in an organization. And boy, has their hard work paid off. Carlene Thompson, who was a point guard for Cheryl Miller at SC, left a sports marketing job to become an equipment manager with the Sparks in order to get her start with the WNBA. And Ryan Weisenberg worked his way up the ladder as a video coordinator for the Sparks. The hard work's paid off. Now both their business cards read head coach, and the duo is 8-2 since taking over for the departed Michael Cooper. What a success story.
Not exactly the road to the top that you've imagined in the past, but it's a great story, both their stories.
I think the fact, too, though, that they've been in basketball a long time. Ryan Weisenberg also does a video for the Los Angeles Lakers. And Carlene Thompson played with Lisa Leslie. They were teammates at USC and very good friends. and yet a huge amount of respect for each other.
Well, in reference to their coaches, 2 words, Lawrence Frank.
Yeah, you're
I'll
right.
Just leave it at that.
You're right, exactly. Leslie, like she picked up the pivot foot. Guess not. Off balance miss, and Brunson clears it. So under 7 minutes to go here at Staples Center. Monarchs trying to make the playoffs. This won't help their cause. Brunson off the Lawson dish. And here are the Sparks. And speaking of Kara Lawson, they talked about the big game she had against them the last time they matched up. 2 big threes to send it into overtime. Had 6 overall. You look at the 3-pointers today, just awful. And nothing doing from the outside.
As a team, they're 1 of 12.
Well, I think a lot of that comes from their inability to create shots for themselves. Kara's more of a she's a great shooter, but she's not someone who's going to create off the dribble or create for herself. And therefore, if the team isn't functioning offensively the way they need to, her shots are going to be much more difficult in terms of rhythm. And therefore, you see her, as the rest of the team, struggle to make jump shots.
Yolanda Mignola coming into the game. That was an offensive foul on Tanti Maiga, the push off. And there's Kara Lawson, second-year player out of Tennessee, taking the seat on the bench. So it's Sparks basketball, 7-10-point lead.
And Terry, you talked about them making the playoffs. They now go Thursday, and they're at home against Houston, and then they go home and play Houston again and Minnesota, or I should say they're on the road. They're on the road with Houston and Minnesota. So the last 2 games are on the road with 2 teams in the West.
That's a deuce, foot on the line, but yeah, 6 of 7 games down the stretch for Sacramento on the road, 5 games in a row. Then it's Houston, and Minnesota to close out the season. You had to figure that going into this 4-game stretch to close out, maybe needing to win 3 out of 4. It depends on Phoenix and Minnesota, but that's what they'd have to say. And then, so if you're John Wisden, you say we got to win our last 3. Leslie going to work again. Lisa's got 21.
Well, those last 2 games for Sacramento will be at home.
Right.
They're on the road against Houston and then finish up at home, but still 3 games with Western Conference teams.
It's definitely going to be a tough road for them, but not one that's not impossible.
Absolutely.
I think, because this team's much better than they showed today, and I think also a lot of credit has to go to the Sparks with the way they came out defensively. This is a statement game for them. Remember, this is a team that had beaten them twice already this season, and the only team to beat them here at home. So you had to figure they were going to come out very intense and motivated to put on a good show.
And don't think they've given up. Maiga, after the miss, stole it right back. Here she is. Tanti Maiga operating on the block over Leslie, who changed the shot. Wild miss that time.
And for whatever reason, the Sparks always seem to have some kind of motivation playing against their opponent. Or when it was Detroit, which is always, they beat them in the championship game last year. Sacramento has beaten them here this year. Now they'll go up against Phoenix on Tuesday, which Phoenix beat them the other night in Phoenix.
Foul on Sacramento. Don't forget the NFL season is here. Kickoff weekend continuing tonight. Sunday Night Football on ESPN. Got the Chiefs taking on the Broncos. Division rivals meeting. Mile High Stadium. Also available on ESPN HD. Coverage gets underway at 7:30 Eastern with NFL Prime Time.
That's right. The NFL Steelers were looking good early on against the Raiders today. I'm a Steelers.
You got the Pack taking on the Panthers. Monday Night Football. Monday night.
Brett Favre.
Easily a bit short.
Teasley has struggled from the floor. She's 2 of 13, 0 of 8 from 3-point range, but she's done a lot of other good things out there as far as 6 assists in this game.
And
you almost forget that she's struggled that much from the field because of all that she's done.
And everyone else has played so well. That's, again, that shows you just how talented this team is when your point guard can go out and struggle the way she has, and yet you're still dominating a team like Sacramento.
Lisa Leslie running the floor at the other end, and the lead is now 15 for the Sparks. Take a break. Be back to Staples in just a moment. 5 left in this one at Staples Center. Check out right now our secret strong play of the game and a double winner. Addition assist and secret strong play of the game. Nikki Teasley behind the back, splitting the double off the high screen and little screen and roll. Lisa Leslie finishing at the end. Not bad. Easily celebrating as well. It's a pretty good combination for the Sparks as you look ahead to playoff time in the WNBA. Hard to beat that.
And Leslie with their 5th game in a row with 20-plus points.
Saving her best for the stretch run. Just playing dominant basketball. I mean, again, at both ends, we keep saying that, but that's really what she's done, and it just sets the tone for the rest of the team. It gives you confidence when you know you have the best player in the league playing her best basketball.
Well, Carleen Thompson and Ryan Weisberg also have made some adjustments in the offense. They want her to get the ball a little bit more on the outside, not so she's just posting up all the time where she's banged and has the opportunity to get doubled and triple teamed. So it gives her a little bit more opportunity to maneuver.
On the other end, Sacramento 7 of 26 in the first half. In this half, they're 8 of 24. You can't stay in it shooting the ball like that. And as you guys have talked about, they really have no one. Without Lawson shooting with 3, you can't just give it to Griffith every time down and expect her to carry you.
Well, and Griffith had 10 points in the first half. She's been held to 3 points and 1 rebound in this second half, so give credit to the defense, but also offensively, Sacramento's got to do a better job getting other people open.
They do, not to mention the fact they got 20 turnovers already.
Now, yeah.
21 after that last one, and that's just too much to overcome, especially when you're playing against a team like the Sparks. They're really clicking on all cylinders right now, and Sacramento's going to have a lot of work if they want to make the playoffs. It's definitely still within the realm of possibility, but not playing the way they are today.
Chero dishing it to Tangela Smith. Mid-range jump shot. She's got 8. Christy Thomas. Foul underneath. Goes back to Sacramento.
In that first half, neither team shot the ball really well whatsoever, but also defensively, I mean, for Los Angeles to hold Sacramento, a team that can put points on the board, only 41 points right now, and shooting percentage-wise under 30 in that first half. I mean, they've done a pretty good defensive job.
And again, I think that at the end of the day, the unselfishness offensively for LA and their commitment to the defensive end is the reason why they're probably the team to beat right now as we get ready to head into the playoff.
Griffith turns and faces over Leslie. Pretty move for Yolanda Griffith. She's got 15 in the game.
And you know that if LA's going to be number 1, obviously that playoff spot for number 4, you can look at, is it going to be Sacramento? Is it going to be Minnesota? Is it going to be Phoenix? I mean, those are the 3 teams you're really looking at to be in that spot. And Sacramento going up to Arco is real difficult for the LA Sparks. It gets real loud up there.
Sacramento has the tiebreaker with Phoenix because of the head-to-head matchups. They won 2 out of 3, so should they finish tied, it would be the Monarchs who would get in. In traffic, Yolanda Griffith, 17 now for the 60th Florida Atlantic. So just like that, a minute 47, and we get an 11-point game. Now with these 20 seconds, let's find out how Tisha Pinachero spends her time off the court. Heather Cox caught up with her before the game for our Dasani timeout.
Tisha, would you rather have 10 assists or 10 buckets in a game?
10 assists.
If you could follow one musical act on tour, who would it be?
Usher.
You say you'd like a career in broadcasting. Would you be more of a Dan Patrick or a Stuart Scott?
Stuart Scott.
Your dad and your brother both play basketball. A game of force between the 3 of you. Who wins?
Me, of course.
Of course. I'm not going to say anything else. WNBA leaders Pinachero, you see, with 5 assists a game. She's won it every year in the league, but probably not this year. Nikki Teasley, we said, just under 6 assists a game.
Well, I really think a lot of that has to do with the offense. This team has just not clicked on all cylinders throughout the season, and they don't have the scorers that they have had in the past.
Well, that's a very good point. When you have to, for her to get the assist, you have to be able to make the shots, and right now that's something that they struggle with. And Nikki Teasley's not struggling, at least on that possession.
Teasley's got 8 after the 3 ball. It was an 11-point game. You thought, oh, maybe, but the Sparks are back up by 14, but not right now. Juliana Mendiola, the rookie from Washington. And it's once again an 11-point game.
Well, Sacramento is a team, they're capable of rebounding. We know how good they are on the offensive glass, but a team that wants to run, can score quickly, has got to get defensive rebounds.
Leslie, the miss, contact, no foul. Here comes Griffith. Can she control it? Pick it up, get it underneath. Smith, and all of a sudden, it's a single-digit game. The lead down to 9 for the Sparks with just under a minute. Mabika struggling against Smith. Got to get it over the timeline. Crowd getting anxious now. Here's Mabika. Beasley sets it up, and Achero with the foul. For the Monarchs, pressing the issue and not giving up, certainly at this point. Take a look at what's coming your way tonight. Your primetime lineup on ABC. America's Funniest Home Videos coming your way at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. Pepsi's Play for a Billion then, and Extreme Makeover, Home Edition at 9 Eastern, followed by The Practice at 10, 9 Central. Your primetime lineup on ABC. Foul, and the Sparks will go to the free throw line.
LA probably getting a little lackadaisical on that. The last 3 minutes and 8 seconds, an 11-3 run by Sacramento.
And you know, it doesn't really maybe make a difference for the game, but from a momentum standpoint, if I'm Coach Wisnet, I'm looking for something to build off of going into our next basketball game, because they right now seem to be struggling with their confidence. They've made a couple jump shots. Yolanda Griffith continues to compete out there and has made some plays. They have to get their mojo back if they want to have a chance to make the playoffs. And right now, they at least have something to build on with the way they're finishing this basketball game.
2 from the free throw line. It's once again an 11-point lead as Monarchs try to rush it up. Perhaps get a 3. And Neola with good defense for the Sparks. Able to get the 3 off. And the offensive rebound, Chantel Anderson, and the foul, which is not what LA wants. I think Lisa Leslie just said, I've had enough of this. I'm not going to allow this here in my house, in my paint. She's got 5 in the game.
Yeah, you really don't want to foul right now if you're LA. However, you also don't want to give up uncontested layups. So if you're going to get those 2, make it go to the line and earn them from the free throw stripe.
And like you said, Coach Wisnet building and looking for the positive. And same thing with LA. I mean, you've got to make a statement. You can't just come in here and get the easy basket, even though the clock is coming down.
Anderson with the deuce, and here's the lead at 9 once again. Mabika over to Dixon. They're going to follow, let it play out. They're going to foul. Dixon will go to the free throw line, and Neola with the foul.
And, you know, the Sparks are a difficult team to press because they have so many people that can handle the basketball. And in Sacramento, although I think they're a very good team defensively in the half court, they are not as effective when they have to extend. However, at this point, they don't really have a choice.
And you can go as deep as Lisa Leslie bringing the ball up.
Yeah.
And a good sports weekend for the LA teams. Sparks looking to win here, trying to close it out. SC, give me a reason why they're #1 in the country with a big win over Colorado State last night. Coliseum.
And you did the Bruin game yesterday?
Yes, I will mention your Bruins. The big win over Illinois on the road yesterday.
Don't forget the Dodgers. Big win.
Dodgers, that's right, big time.
Mabika from Dixon. And this one is in the book. 14 from Mabika. And the Sparks closing it out at home. An impressive win. And that's why they have already wrapped up not only a spot in the playoffs, but also home court advantage throughout the playoffs. 13-point victory. Coming back to wrap things up from Staples Center here in Los Angeles in just a moment.